With over millions of sales, Mount & Blade Bannerlord is currently one of the best medieval setting video games, and as a history teacher, I love it. I have even used it in class to explain historical concepts. But how close can a video game get to the real life history? Like, did soldiers really use bare heads in battle? The answer to this and many other questions we are going to search in historical books, records and artwork and compare the game to the life of our ancestors. So, back to the soldiers with the animal heads. The bear head, the wolf head and their pelts. You might have seen it in movies, in art and in video games. But did soldiers use animal heads? Well, yes, they did. The earliest ones could be the velites, described by Polybius. The velites are the soldiers in the Roman army who are in front of everyone else. They are used to engage in skirmish and harass the enemy before the big battle. When they caused disarray or chaos in the enemy formation, commanders could find them easily because of the skin they had on their head, and commanders could reward them for the job well done. But the most popular ones are the Berserker and the Ulfhedner, which are believed to receive their strength from the animal they worshipped, or from the gods. There was a state called Berserker Gang. According to the legends, during that state these guys received some form of divine power. They couldn't be harmed by weapons and they could kill anything nearby them, including their allies. How did they enter that state? There are different theories. Some say it was the gift of the gods, others say that it was done through a ritual, but one of the recent theories is not connected to something divine. Some say that they ate a poisonous plant. In fact, in 1977, seeds of a plant were found in a Viking grave in Denmark, and after testing them, researchers found out that the symptoms caused by eating them were very similar to the behavior of soldiers under the Berserker Gang. There are many depictions and attestations of them, with the most popular ones being the column of Emperor Trajan and the sagas. But now let me ask you a question. What does this event look like to you? Yep, it's a tournament. One of my favorite things about the game is tournaments and how correctly they represent real-life tournaments, but let me explain you why. We have all seen movies with tournaments in which people kill each other, but was that the case in real life? No, that was a rare occasion. Keep in mind that the most important resource in the medieval times was not gold nor silver, it was the human, and wasting people who could work and pay taxes was often avoided. So, what did they do instead? We have to clarify that the weapons which were used in tournaments were often blunted to prevent serious injuries. Participants would instead take blunt force trauma and get knocked down, but not lethally wounded. The same thing is implemented in the game. You will see that the weapons used in tournaments in the game are apparently made of iron or steel, but when you hit someone with your weapon, you will see that the damage you deliver to your opponent is blunt and not cut like you would deliver in battle. But what made tournaments dangerous, which is not in the game, is that the defeated participants could be taken as prisoners, by the winners of course, and then be sold unless they could pay ransom. The perfect example here is William Marshall. As Stephen Langton says, he was the best knight that ever lived. In the biography of William Marshall, his life and participation in tournaments is described with details. At the end of his career, he had defeated about 500 knights and taken their armor and horses, from which he has gained an immeasurable wealth. He was one of the many nobles who took part in tournaments, and in the game you will see nobles doing so as well. which leads us to one more thing that is correctly made by the developers. Tournaments were the perfect place where people could improve their skills and master the usage of weapons, in order to be better on the real battlefield. And here we can see that the fighting increases our skill levels. The arena was also the place where soldiers trained to fight shoulder to shoulder with others. There were tournaments where participants were split into groups. This exists in the game as well. However, these can accept up to 16 participants, while in real life tournaments could accept more. An example here is the fight with 48 participants divided into teams. Now, if you live somewhere where tournaments are still a thing, I am sure you know more, and it would be great if you pause the video to type anything you can share in the comments below. And if you are interested in the topic, I'm going to leave a link in the description with videos from medieval festivals here in Bulgaria, where you can see a reenactment of medieval tournaments after you finish this video. And let's say a few words about how powerful were the kings in the medieval times. This will be a simplified version because in reality things were much more complex and not ideal as kings would have liked them to be. If we take a look at the in-game year in which things start, we are going to see that we're in the medieval times. In medieval Europe, the social system is called feudalism, and feudalism has been recreated in the game. Simply said, feudalism is a structure based on giving something in exchange for something. Take this guy for example. He is the king of the state of Landia. Even though he has this prestigious title and this shiny crown, he is absolutely nothing. Even though he is absolutely nothing, he owns the entire land of his kingdom. Every castle, town, village, everything, absolutely everything belongs to him. And this is where his power comes from. He can give a part of his land to someone, effectively giving him the right to collect taxes from the land. That someone becomes a vassal. Now, the king is not alone, but these guys combined are still nothing. We go down the ladder a little more. The vassal is obliged to protect the people who live in the land from bandit attacks. This is what the giving part looks like in this social structure. Now, let's see what they get back. For the protection they get from the vassal, they have to pay him taxes for using his houses and lands, produce food and trade goods. They also have to find people who are willing to become soldiers. And for the land, the vassal has to provide the king with the soldiers and has to support him in his military campaigns. The only exception is that the lower nobility are part of the soldiers. Now keep in mind that in real life things weren't that perfect. It was not uncommon that vassals try to rule their fief alone or not obey the call to arms. But in a perfect world, the king now has soldiers, and with these soldiers, he can go and siege enemy settlements. But how often did sieges occur? How did they work? And did soldiers fight like you see on your screen right now? The answer to all of these questions and many more you can learn if you click on this video right here. If you have any thoughts like critique, corrections, questions or even ideas for future videos, be it about Bannerlord or other games you want me to react to, make sure to leave a comment below this video and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out future videos. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time.